So, hi. Another late night chat with me. But what I wanted to share is that, and I think I've echoed this in some of my posts earlier on this week, that it's really important to look at the positives of life and to block out the noise sometimes that we hear or that we're constantly bombarded with on our social media platforms and on mainstream media. But while I reflected this week, I just wanted to share a little story with you. So when I was a little spring chicken and I was younger and I was studying at university in London, I remember when I was on a train and I think I got on at London Bridge and I got on the overground train. And you know where those sort of like four-seaters are, and I sat, on one side of the four-seaters on the train. And there was this old white lady that came on and sat right opposite me. She opened up her bag. She sort of peeled an orange, and then she just started talking to me randomly. So I thought, yeah, okay, I love conversations. I love talking to people. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love socialising and getting to know new people. So anyway, she started talking to me and she goes, oh yeah, proper Cockney lady. She goes, oh yeah, so where do you come from? I said, well, I was born and bred here, but my heritage is from the Caribbean. And she goes, oh yeah, I remember those days. I said, really? She goes, yeah, I remember those days. Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah, we didn't like you back then. Nah, we gave you a hard time. I said, really? I said, yeah, my grandma came over here during the Windrush. She goes, yeah, we didn't like you. We really didn't like you. We didn't welcome you. But do you know what? This is what she said to me. She goes, you know what? You're right, I said, really? I said, thank you so much. That's really good to know. And she goes, what's on my orange? I said, okay. And then we had a good old chinwag for a good 20 minutes on the train. And she just started to talk to me about her whole life story. And I started to share with her, part of my life journey. And we got along. And I think that is the beauty of humanity, that a human being can overcome prejudice, overcome feeling, like someone is different and feeling invaded. That is the beauty of life, that in life we can go through circumstances and change our views over time. And what I think about humanity is that we are more alike than what we think. And if we just had the space and the time to get to know one another and to have conversations with one another, we would really understand that we're actually more alike than what we think. That encounter from that wonderful elderly woman really moved me, and it stuck in the back of my mind, because here's a woman who professed and said she was one of those people that gave people like my grandma a hard time. I remember when my grandma first came over here and she had feces thrown over her back door. These are the encounters that people feel or experience sometimes when they're seen to be different. But I would like to think that humanity is better than that. And with all the noise that we hear on mainstream media, I think that it's very important that we consider that we're all human beings. I would also like to challenge those that are watching right now, and I think it's very important that I do. If we were in the midst of a crisis, would we care what colour someone is? Would we actually care where someone is from? If we were in the midst of a crisis and we needed our lives to be saved, would we care? So if we don't care if a crisis comes along, why can't we do the same in our everyday lives?